I don't even really know how I ended up in this conversation, except that sharing what I discovered I feel is really important. Consider someone who, for some reason, has a lot of karmic debt. And listen, this isn't just a conversation about karma, it's a conversation about how things work, and karma is a part of it because karma is a shorthand way of talking about the universal law of reciprocity, of mutual exchange. Okay, you reap what you sow. That's all karma is. You reap what you sow. So, but there's a way that it works, given that we also live in this construct that a lot of us refer to as the wheel of time, the wheel of fortune, the wheel of karma, dharma, the wheel of dharma. It's like, that we have this idea of life occurring in this cyclical pattern. But we refer to it as a wheel, right? More than the sphere of life. We say the circle of life, and then we, kind of give these visual conceptions of a wheel. So somewhere between hither and yon, right, we begin to recognize that sometimes the wheel turns in our favor, sometimes it does not, and that, whoever is controlling the wheel, that's what we refer to as God. Okay, whatever our language or culture uses as the terminology, how we view God is that one who turns that wheel, that one who built the wheel, that one who rigged the wheel, that one who oversees the wheel. That's kind of how it lives for us. In consideration of someone who has karmic debt, what can that look like? That can look like doing everything you can but never getting ahead. That can look like always dealing with some type of crisis. That can look like these repeated patterns that you're not even, maybe you notice it as a pattern. Maybe you've gone to talk therapy for it. Maybe you've done all the programs and workshops for these patterns, but they don't seem to go anywhere. They don't seem to break. Um, Maybe your pattern shows up for you and expresses as a mental health concern, and you deal with chronic depression and anxiety, and you're not even able to get support around it because you're so depressed. That's a pattern. Okay. So these patterns, these repetitious events, circumstances in our life, and here's where it gets really interesting. You got to follow along closely here. The repetition of it is not karma. Okay. Don't forget, life is occurring in a circular way, right? There's a wheel that's spinning. So if you picture a wheel, or better yet, a circle, but now take your circle and extend it through dimensions. So now it looks like a spiral. Okay. So on a plane, on an axis, you have a 2D circle, but in the third dimension, or technically in the fourth dimension, but there's a third dimension as well. You just can't see it. You'd be able to see this circle actually extends up and down below the axis. Okay, so the higher dimensions, lower dimensions. And you would get the Earth is definitely, 3D is definitely one of the lower dimensions. You'd say, oh, okay, yeah, because this goes up to 22 levels. This spirals up to 22 levels. Yes, I'm only on level 3. Yeah, there's a ways to go. Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. So the repetition of the circumstances isn't what karma is. You're on a spiral. You're going to see similar circumstances every time the wheel turns, right? Every go round. It's no different than having a birthday every year. Every time the earth goes around the sun, you have another birthday. It's like that. Like that's not karma. That's natural. That's how that works. Okay. So it's not the repetition. It is how you are responding to the repeated. It's how you're responding. So, somebody picks on you in kindergarten. Somebody picks on you in third grade. Somebody picks on you in eighth grade. Somebody picks on you as a senior in high school. Somebody picks on you as a freshman year in college. How you respond each and every time really likely looks different unless it doesn't. Unless it doesn't. If you're responding to things the same way you have for years, that's the karma. Okay. So again, when we're talking about, okay, well, what does karmic debt look like? It looks like being in these repeated circumstances, okay, and not having a way out. You can't do anything other than respond the same way you've always responded, even if you might have taken a workshop on how to do it differently. Like, look, you took a business class workshop, you did Toastmasters, you know exactly what to do when you enter a room full. You know what to do. You know what to do. Okay, and you've done all the things, and you've read all the books on confidence, and the 7 habits of highly effective people. I mean, you know everything you need to know, but when you walk into a room, you still do the exact same thing. Okay, that would be a place to explore your karma in that area. All right. So from this point of view, we can say, karma isn't something that's bad. This isn't like, oh no, karma is so bad. You got to watch out. It is an opportunity for you to get serious about where there is for you to focus your energy and attention to produce a different result than the one you've been experiencing. So when people come to me and they're like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm bored or life is so boring. You're okay. Yeah, you're not paying attention. There's no way you can be in this life and be bored. You might be disconnected, disassociated, checked out, and numb, but you're not you're bored. No, there's too much. There's too much to accomplish. You're just not doing it. You're just not doing the thing there is for you to do. Okay, so let's go back to considering the person who has this karmic debt. Like no matter what they do, oh my God, it just keeps going the way it's going, and there's nothing they can do about it, right? I was being in. I found myself again in this conversation. I go, yeah, but how does that? Mean? And I just had this thought of how simple it is to be someone who is so concerned, listen closely, so concerned with being mishandled, mistreated. So I want you to first know that this is, in this particular example, okay, I think we could say this is like extreme self-preservation, okay? So take someone who's so concerned with being mistreated, mishandled, abused, that they manipulate the situations that they are in life to show, how do I put this? It's like, oh, okay, this is it. They manipulate the relationships in their lives to prove to them that they cannot trust the people they think they cannot trust. Okay? So imagine being so convinced that someone's out to get you or someone's going to do something to break your trust that you manipulate a situation to set them up to break your trust. Like, you're so convinced in your mind that this is happening, this is gonna happen, this is what it is, that you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna control the whole thing. You're gonna, in other words, if this person's gonna screw you over, you're gonna make sure it happens the way you set it up. But and that's putting it in oversimplified terms. Again, I think in the background here is some extreme self-preservation, an extreme lack of trust and self-preservation. Okay. Now, a lot of people are like this. Let's tell the truth. A lot of people come to a situation and they say, okay, no, let me see. If you act nice, I'll act nice. But if you don't act nice, I'm not going to act nice. Okay. If you do the right thing, I'll do the right thing, but you go first. And I'm just being with this, like that actually accumulates karmic debt. Like that actually, I know we don't think of things like that as and that's why I'm bringing this conversation forward, because I feel like we got caught up in something religious, like in general. I'm not going to go there with y'all. Just stay with me. Where we feel like, um, karma, bad karma or karmic debt comes from killing people and hurting animals and, oh, you're a murderer, you're gonna have bad karma. Like, no, 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 no. There's a reason why somewhere in the Bible it says, even if you think about adultery, it's the same as committing adultery. And this goes back to that last conversation I had around thoughts or things, right? Like, because thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. And that's exactly what that passage is talking about. Thoughts are things. So don't get it twisted. If you out here thinking you're gonna mess somebody up, that's the energy you put out between you and that person. That's the same as evil eye. Okay, that's you giving that person the evil eye. Okay, that person now, whatever spiritual warning protection system they have going on is gonna ding 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 them every time you come around. And every time you're anything less than great to that person, and that's the thing, I don't care how fakey fake you are, the universe knows what's real and what's not. Every time you're fakey fake nice to that person, you're accumulating karmic debt. I'm just here to tell you, because nobody taught me this when I was a kid. I didn't know. I didn't know. I used to be in church listening to the preacher talk and reading these scriptures and be like, what? If you think about murder, you murder. If you think about adultery, adultery. Well, how you do it? Like, but let me tell you something. 40 years later, I got it. Thoughts are things, man. Thoughts are things. They are still energy. Your thoughts are still energy. And they have an energy signature that is unique to you. Just like any energy you emit has your signature to it, so do your thoughts. So the universe can keep track of who's thinking what. See, out here, that's what I say. Everything done in darkness comes to light. You're not hiding anything. You're not hiding anything. You're not hiding anything. Everything you do, say, think, touch, feel has your signature attached to it. Now imagine living your life hyper responsible for your signature, making sure that your energy signature was only attached to the utmost. Top tier thoughts, the type of thoughts that create worlds. Unbelievable emotions, the kind that reek of joy and bliss. Imagine your energy signature attached to words that literally create freedom for yourself and others. Imagine that's your energy signature. That's like keeping your karmic ledger clean. That keeps your slate clean. Do you see what I mean? And I will tell you what's really cool about this is if you get into harmonics and frequency, the wheel, like when we talk about the wheel turning and having karmic debt versus receiving dharma as the wheel turns, we talk about it a lot, but I can't stress enough. One of the most potent, powerful activators, alchemical tools you have is gratitude. I can't say enough about gratitude. I don't feel like I know. I feel like a broken record, but it's so real. Like the gratitude's ability to take something that is of low vibration and shift it to something that's of a high vibration is unparalleled. You can use crystals for this. You can use magic for this. You can use, there's so many alchemical tools are out there. Gratitude be working fast as fuck though. I'm not gonna hold you. Gratitude work real fast. So, get your gratitude practice up and really like allow here's an exercise. I want you to think about what rock bottom is for you, whether you feel like you're at rock bottom right now, or you've already been at rock bottom and you have made your way back out, or you're pretty clear, like, wait, when people say rock bottom, that's always confused me a little bit. What does that mean? I got you. Just imagine whatever comes to your mind when you hear the words rock bottom. Just imagine. And now I want you to take whatever's in your imagination around rock bottom. When I say rock bottom, when you hear rock bottom, whatever, if something comes to mind visually, if it just invokes a feeling in your body, be there with whatever that is for you. Okay. And I want you to attach gratitude to it, whatever that looks like. So let's say for me, let's say I'm visual. When I say rock bottom, I'm actually picturing this big granite slab, and there's nothing around me that I can see but granite walls, granite on the on underneath my feet. And I look up and there's a blue sky, but I gotta look way up. That's what comes to me when I think of rock bottom. Okay. Now I'm gonna attach gratitude to this, right? And the first thing I'm gonna do here is go, wow, I'm so grateful that I can see the sky. I'm so grateful I can see the sky. I'm so grateful that I can see the sky because at least now I'll be able to track how many days I'm here at rock bottom. I'll be able to see the passage of the sun and the moon. Okay, cool. And so attaching gratitude to something can be that simple. It doesn't have to be this big brouhaha sometimes. I think that it's just like, okay, I can see the sky. That's awesome. The next thing I can be grateful for is, I'm pretty grateful this is granite. It's jagged in some places, so looks like over time I should be able to climb out as long as I take my time and don't give up. Okay, cool. And that's something that gratitude does. It allows you to see things in a different way. That's a part of how it alchemizes a situation for you. Okay. Now you could be at rock bottom with no gratitude and just be really up and pissed at how far down you are. And that's what a lot of people do. Like, oh, this is, you don't, and you can tell when you talk to them. And I think that's something that's important for us to touch on here. When we talk about transmuting and transforming something, okay, positivity sounds like this. Well, I'm at rock bottom, but uh, you know, there's nowhere to go but up. And then that person sits down. That's fake positivity. Okay. Reality is something like this. It sucks to be here. I got a long way to go, and as long as I don't give up, I'm gonna make it. That's reality. That's not fake positivity. That's reality. You've accounted for all the eventualities in that and all the stuff for you to do at that point. Let's go put your foot on the lowest jagged edge of granite you can find and then reach up with your opposite hand and pull yourself up and continue to do that hand over foot for however long it takes until you get out of rock bottom. Now, there are people who do know magic and they know magical words and they can sit right there at the bottom of that pit and bippity boppity boo, and an angel will swoop down and pick them up out of rock bottom and bring them to the top. I've seen stranger things happen. I've heard of stranger things, so I don't discount anything. If it ain't an angel, maybe it's a jinn. Okay? Listen, help can come in any way, shape, or form it needs to come, but I'm telling you, even if for the person who knows magic and is having support, they're still going to express gratitude to whatever divine magical being comes and rescues them. You feel me? Telling you gratitude is the key to all of it. But really, in this conversation, I want us to begin to, again, that last conversation, the challenge was intentionally thinking, like actually being an original thinker who thinks intentionally, not just allowing whatever groupthink thoughts are being thrown around to become your thoughts. Okay. I like to think of thoughts like clouds in the sky of consciousness. They're all available, they're all up there, but only the ones you pull towards yourself and identify with become real for you, right? Because thoughts are things, thoughts become things. So what you allow to yourself to identify with in the thought realm, you're going to create it. It's just night follows day. There's nothing you can do about it. With all the thoughts that are available for you to think, one of the hardest thoughts for you to think is one that you have yourself, one that is original. Most thoughts are inspired. They are spirit in you. Okay, they start as a knowing, and then they bubble up to the surface as you sit still and meditate, and you're like, oh, I think this, I think that, I feel this, I feel that. You know, a lot of thoughts are groupthink, however, right? We all read the news or we all see the same post on Facebook that day. Next thing you know, we all think this, okay? And of course, because thoughts are energy, they can be influenced externally. That's why you want to be very intentional internally about the quality of your thoughts. This is what you're going to live in your life, all right? And again, it's not the circumstances, it's your response to the circumstances that's dictating, right? Whether you have a karmic debt or a dharma payout, okay? So what could this look like? Karmic debt, dharma payout. Let me tell you, obviously, listen, y'all. Obviously. So listen, I want you to imagine, like I said, thoughts are like the clouds in the sky of consciousness, right? Imagine that, okay, you know how wherever, I don't know where you live, but there's a sky. You can go outside and look up, there's a sky, right? Me too. When I go outside, I see a sky too. Now, let me put it like this. Let's be honest. The clouds that I'm seeing are not the clouds that you're seeing, unless we stand right next to each other, okay? So I can be outside looking at the sky in Colorado, and my sister can be outside looking at the sky in Virginia, and we are both looking at the sky. We are. We really are. We really, really are. But there obviously can be clouds in my field that are not in hers, and vice versa. You feel me? Okay, great. Thoughts are like clouds in the sky of consciousness. Some people attract thoughts that other people don't, based on the frequency of the thought and the person. So you hear people say like, I would never even think that. I would never even think to do that. That's real. Though that frequency of thought never comes into that person's field. Okay. So even though all thoughts are available to you, all thoughts are available to all of us, you're going to have in your sky at any given time, your sky of consciousness, the thoughts whose frequency resonate with you. Okay. This is a really big deal, like why your environment matters, because you're surrounded, thoughts are energy. So, you think about the top 5 people in your life that you spend time around, all of their energy is swirling and mixing with your energy all the time. If that energy is a high frequency, it's going to have your energy be at a high frequency. If it's a low frequency, it's going to have your energy be at a low frequency. It's really simple. It's just frequency. Thoughts matter though, because thoughts become things. So if you're around people who are always walking around with a poverty consciousness, you're going to eventually have a poverty consciousness, not because you don't know better, but because it's a frequency thing. Okay. That's just what it is. If you want to be around people who are, movers and shakers, then you want to begin to shift your thoughts into that vein so that your frequency lines up with people like that and you come together. Okay. This is the power of intentionally choosing your thoughts. One, understanding you have a choice. If you have a thought that you don't care for, you're going to say, I reject that thought. Use gratitude to shift your frequency and attract a new thought. You don't have to allow every thought that comes through your sky to be the one you identify with. Okay? You don't have to allow that. You really don't. You have a choice. You have a say in the thoughts that you choose to entertain and the frequency that you maintain within your field, in your aura, and absolutely in the life that you get to live because you choose to be responsible for your thoughts. I really can't say enough about this. As someone who dealt with depression and anxiety for over 15 years, I cannot say enough about the power, not of positive thinking, of intentional being understanding that as a human being, your goal is to manage your frequency of being. That's like if you're driving a car, your job is to manage that car on the road. If you're driving an avatar, if you're driving a human body, your job is to manage that body. That really requires being responsible for. There's four main parts to driving your avatar: the spiritual part, the mental part, the emotional part, and the physical part. They all operate on a resonant frequency that, when aligned, allows your avatar to function at its highest peak capacity. Now, fuck the world, because all they did was tell you about one part of your avatar. So unless you figured it out on your own, and look, some of us have, right? And those are the ones who are out here speaking truth right now, because we're like, hey, we need you. Come on, we need you to get your avatar lined up too. We know that, okay? So for people out here speaking truth, the truth tellers, the people who are actually looking to support the collective, please understand that's our shared mission. It's our shared mission. If you've seen the movie Avatar, you know what the hell I'm talking about. What are 100 Avatar going to do by themselves? We need all the avatars to sit together around the tree of life so we can swing and sway and save our planet. I mean, hello. Okay. So allow yourself to choose the quality of your vibrational frequency through your food, through your music, through your words, through your thoughts, through your thoughts, through your thoughts. Through your thoughts. As a shaman, I remember years ago, Spirit saying, like, the age of the guru is over. There's no more gurus. And I knew then that my career was like, well, I'm doing something different then, because my job description just got trashed by the person who made the job description. So shit, what we doing now? But I really understood the divine to say everybody gets to be their own shaman now. Now, look, I still have ceremonies and all that kind of stuff. You guys know what it is. You guys know what it is, right? However, those are meant to be times of coming together and sharing in community, of literally connecting in like-minded community is what these ceremonies are meant to be, because you've already, guided yourself with your intuition during your personal time, however that works for you. And then you come together in ceremony for, shared celebration, just the old days, what we doing out here. So, let this be like an encouragement to do what there is for you to do. If you don't manage your frequency, if you don't manage the quality of your thoughts, you will always only be able to do what you can, not what's possible. You understand that? Being able to operate your physical avatar is the base level of performance. And some of us are not even adept at the base level of performance. Can you hear what I'm saying right now? Mastery looks like running your avatar mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually in alignment. That's what mastery looks like. Base operations, entry level, novice, apprentice looks like, okay, you got your physical avatar under control. Okay, cool. I'm telling you, keeping your all of it together, that's mastery. So be careful of being envious and jealous of people who've only mastered their physical. They still, oh, they're the best apprentice we have. Yay, they're the best level one. Think about that. All these people you probably are admiring, they're the best at being level one. They're the best at being level one. They're not even like on a real, they just not on a reel, okay? So really know that, and just manage yourself, okay? Manage yourself, like, you know. It works for you, and that's the other thing. Please remember, this is something that's unique to you. This is not religion. This is not one size fits all. This is your spiritual being needs something unique to it. Your emotional being needs something unique. Your mental being needs something unique, and your physical being needs something unique. Okay, right? Like, okay, so example, my physical being cannot eat dairy and is allergic to like almost everything. Oh my god, it's horrible. I make it though. I make it. Oh, that reminds me. I juiced some pear apple grape the other day. Some pears, some apples, and some red grapes. So good. I'm gonna finish that after this. Okay, and then uh, what was I gonna say? My emotional being. really needs gardening. Like I have to, like, gardening is emotionally grounding for me. I can't explain it other than that. Mentally, I require exercise. Believe it or not, like that's how it is for me. Like when I like a pretty rigorous workout, but even if I can't get it, just walking a mile or so every day, it's enough for me to get my thoughts in order, to organize those thoughts, really make sure that I'm tossing out the ones that aren't the right, aren't the frequency that I'm interested in, and only keeping the ones that are, resonant with what I want in life, resonant with the reality I'm looking to create. So and then spiritually, I have to do ritual. I'm a ritual person. Little rituals every day, altars everywhere. Um, that's and that's just what it might look like in one day. That isn't to say that this is how I live my life every day all the time. That is to say that is one formula that I use. So in one week, I might do all those things, right? But I have so many available on tap that I can switch around from. Like right now, I'm in Tai Chi, Taekwondo. I'm doing acupressure at home. I've got my daily rituals lined up. I've got my monthly rituals lined up. I have my weekly rituals lined up. Okay, I've got a garden bed in one place. I'm about to get another garden bed in another place. I figured out a outdoor place to walk. I figured out an indoor place to play racquetball and volleyball. I've got my volleyball pumped up, right? I'm constantly managing this avatar that I'm in by making sure that all the components of the avatar have access to what they need at any given time. And I am adept at using these tools. I have to be adept at using these tools. I have to be adept because there's going to be times where my physical body needs something, but my mental body isn't going to want to do it. My mental body's going to go, no, let's just do this because this is better. And then my emotional body's going to go, but I just want to stay in bed. And my physical body's going to go, but I really need to go run and work out, and I'm going to, you got to get it all in alignment. Okay. So anyway, that's this is that, and all is one. Okay. Remember that no matter who you are and no matter where you are, to trust your process, your path, and your purpose. Ashe.